Hello, hello, hello. Let's make sure we're live, first of all, because there's nothing worse than talking on your show and going, oh, crap, we're not live yet. With this technology, you never know. So, yes, I see we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome to my show. I'm Kevin Paul, a psychic and medium, educator, and your guide through the seen and unseen. Whether you're here for answers, insights, or just a little curiosity, you're in the right place. Now let's talk spirits, scary stories, mystical energy, and everything in between. This is real talk, no nonsense. Let's get into it. I've asked for questions either live or in comments prior, and I've got some questions already I'd like to start with. Thanks for joining me. If you're joining late, well, you'll be able to watch the whole show afterwards, things that you've missed. But let's talk about the first thing that everybody asks me. Ghosts versus spirits. What are the differences? Well, I think ghosts are what TV, movies, and stories have come up with for the unknown, the unseen. Spirits, same thing. People say sometimes ghosts are stuck here and spirits are the ones who've moved on. Well, it's basically the same thing. They are the same thing. There's no difference. The question is, are they stuck or not stuck? And that is the next question. I used to think that perhaps, spirits were stuck. And the more I've worked in this field, the more I've communicated with spirits, I do not get the impression that anyone is stuck. Um, they don't have to be moved on to heaven. I have not come across that now that I've been doing this for some time. What I have come to understand is that spirits are energy that are communicating with us, whether we know it or not. When we think about them, their energy is with us because we have an energetic and emotional connection with our loved ones, for example. And so when we think of them, that's basically like us picking up the telephone and calling them, or at least connecting with their energy. And those who are not our loved ones, if we're like in a spooky house or something and we're doing a paranormal investigation, what I find is when you're in those spaces, it's not like the ghosts are sitting there going, okay, who's coming in next? Oh, look at these people. Let's see if we can communicate with them. I don't get that impression anymore. When you're in that house, your intention is to be open, to have a dialogue, to communicate, to explore, to find out what's going on. So basically, you're giving an invitation to the energy that has an emotional, energetic connection to that space. And so you basically are picking up the telephone for those who have been there before, and you're inviting them in. And if you are psychic and medium, you typically would be able to connect with that energy. If you are a paranormal investigator, you hope that your little devices will pick up a beep, a word, uh, whatever, electronic signal that something is there. It's exciting when you do that. It's more satisfying when you have the abilities to communicate, to get a sense of who you're speaking with, who may be there. So the question is, are they stuck? I have not gotten the impression that somebody is like, get me out of here. What you do is when you send them to the light, is basically you're saying, okay, I'm done with you. You can leave now. Like when someone comes in to visit you. Okay, great. Well, I've got to go. See you later. That energy goes back and you go on your way. That's my take on it after many years of dealing with the paranormal and doing live readings with people in front of me, being in locations that I want to connect with the energy. And I've done that all around the world, which is fascinating, really fascinating. Whether it be in Siem Reap in Cambodia, it may be in Italy when I'm in a location, I want to communicate with the energy. So I'm inviting that those those spirits who have been there that have an emotional connection with that space. Hey, come and Come and try to talk with me. Let me see if I can pick up on you. Let's see. Will you know me on the other side of the veil? That's a question. Well, I hope I do. Um, People who know each other in this energy field, the living, have an emotional, energetic connection with each other. I would imagine that's going to continue on the other side as well. As are we sitting in a coffee shop on the other side? No, probably not. But there is some kind of connection there. No one knows how to explain what that is. Are there different languages on the other side? Or is it a universal mental communication? There are no different languages. It is, I would say that's a nice one, a nice universal mental communication. Because when I communicate with spirits who never spoke English, I'm able to get the information in my native language. They're communicating with me and it's translating into English for me. So there's no special languages. It's all one universal mental communication. I would agree with that. We talked about spirits. Someone asked, do they stay behind? Are they stuck? Can they leave? Or do they just visit? I think I vote they just visit. And if you think they're stuck, well, there are many different ways to move an energy on or to close yourself off so that you're not being bothered by them. Do they stay behind? They don't stay behind. I don't get the sense that they stay behind at all. I get more of a sense that they're visiting. All right, let's see if there's any live. Let's check. You know, the problem is this technology. You have to go to your phone, take a look at the comments. Let's see here. Let's see. No, interesting. How am I able to get my finances together without help? I'm a big procrastinator. Well, that sounds like it sounds like you need some training in personal financing and how to learn how to control your spending habits. And you're going to have to seek help. You can't do this on your own, probably. I think it's Allan who's asked that question. Go to the professionals. They're going to help you. There are lots of YouTube shows. There are lots of sites that give you some information. But your finances, it's personal finances. So you have to have someone look at what you do and evaluate it and help you understand what you're doing. And it's typically not being well organized, not being able to save, for example. And so, Melissa, is the relationship that I have with Billy ever going to evolve into something solid and true? Well, that's something that you're going to be in charge of, Melissa, because you're in charge of your life. If you want something to happen, you're going to have to work to make it happen. It's not left up to the mystical, spiritual world of whether it's going to happen or not. It all comes down to personal responsibility, putting in the hard work, evaluating the relationship. Is it working? Is it not working? You have a sense deep down if, in fact, a relationship is working or not. If it's not working perfectly, you got to get in there and figure out what you need to do to change that. It's a two-way street. Both sides have to be into it. Both sides have to be, number two, able to communicate. And that's probably the hardest thing to do. So is it solid and true? It's solid and true if you work on it and you make it so. Because in the future, you're not predestined for one thing or the other. You can make your future. You can work towards what you want. So it's going to take some work there, Melissa, on both sides. Let's see if I got some more questions here. Nothing here yet. Let me see if we go over live. End this fun. This is where you need a whole staff to go through all of this here. Got four here. Let's see here. Are are pets in spirit world waiting for us? Absolutely. Just like humans, you have an emotional, energetic connection with them. So that energy is going to be connected with your energy when you pass. So I say yes. Let's see. Lisa, is there a reason I keep seeing numbers in multiple ways that are the same? Is there a reason? Yes, there's a reason. Answer, I don't know. I'm not a numerologist. That would be something for you to investigate. What does it mean? 333, 222. Is it coincidence? Is it trying to make you take some action? I would imagine it's trying, it's the universe or yourself trying to get your attention to do something. Question is, what should you do? Ultimately, I think, Lisa, you know what you need to do, what you need to take care of, what you need to resolve. And maybe this is a way of kind of getting you to take notice by just throwing some things out there to make you stop, take a moment, look at the numbers, think. So that's the way you would need to take care of any issues that you have unresolved. Stop, take a moment, look at it, think about it, come up with a resolution. Let's see, how do you discover that you had abilities? Well, I always grew up knowing that, you know, I'm a little different in many ways, but I also realized there's more to life than what I'm aware of. And that was my search. Is like there's something out there. I didn't had no one to help me like, oh, I'm a psychic and medium. Let me tell you what's going on. No, that didn't happen. So I had to go on my own search back in the day, back in the 1980s. And I've just thought I knew things that, perhaps other people may not have known. No, I didn't know that. I just knew what I knew, and I just wanted to know more. I just knew that I needed to unfold that. I needed to understand that there is more out there than I am aware of, and that I need to know more about that. So, yes, I had some interesting psychic abilities, but I didn't realize that as folks do. Oh, yeah, I knew that's who this person is, or I kind of know their personality, or I know this stay away from this person, or I know what's going to happen. It's just like when you grow up with it, it's like, okay, I know it. Everyone else knows it too, I would imagine. It's when you get older is when you start realizing, especially if you don't have anyone to help you when you're younger. Let's see, the next question here is, do we all have abilities? Of course, we all have abilities. You guys understand when you're thinking about, and I'm sure it happened to everybody, you've been thinking about a friend. You haven't heard from in a long time. And then you go on with your day, and lo and behold, that person calls you or contacts you within a short period of time. Okay, that is an ability, a psychic ability. You've connected somehow with that other person and picked up that they were thinking of you, and then they called. Uh, Other things, abilities, sometimes people will see images in their mind that are foretelling what's going to happen. Like, I saw a horrible accident, or I dreamt about a horrible accident, and lo and behold, something like that happened outside of your house or of your building. So we get little quick downloads all the time. The key is those just kind of spontaneously happen. Now, when you learn to develop your abilities, you learn how to do it on demand. And some of the courses that I teach how to develop your abilities is you understand the difference between your active mind making things up or the actual ability, psychic ability of knowing what's going to happen, knowing when somebody is not feeling well, and understanding the difference. How it does for me feel a little different when that information comes in. Let's see here. See what we got here. Any other questions here? Uh, Secret, you have a lot of good questions. Is a person that was evil here, and we all know evil people, nasty, mean, ugly people, taking that energy to the other side? Good question. Typically, and I think everyone thinks when we felt that once you've moved on, you're in a development stage. To develop to think about what you've done, to work on, you know, analyzing how I could have done things better. I think we all evolve as we move on. And if not, that's a good question. I say, yes, we all evolve and change and move on. When communicate with spirit, someone's loved one who was nasty and mean and just a horrible person, I'm going to pick up on that personality so I can give you evidence of who we've got. But that is kind of picking up on who they were when they were alive. When they're coming through differently. They're coming through with love, with an apology. So they're not, still not nasty. They're still not mean. They're always contrite. Like, this is who I was because now you recognize me. Yeah, I was that evil, ugly person. But this is a message I have for you. And it's always with love, with an apology, with, my fault, those kind of things. So I only pick up on that just to identify who they were, but that's not who they are now. That's my experience with that. Here's an interesting one. My thoughts on TV mediums. What are my thoughts on TV mediums? Of course, we all know Long Island Medium, Tyler Henry, and Amy Allan. I unfortunately have not met any of these people. I would love to meet these people. I'd love to have them on one of my Q&A shows to understand their journey because we all have gone through a spiritual journey to get where we're at. They have been fortunate enough to be in a space where they've been picked up for a television show. And are they real? Are they real? Of course they're real. The question is, how did they develop? Did they have great tutors? Did they have a great mentor? I see in some of them some really bad habits, which typically means, they kind of developed on their own, which is perfectly fine, but you come with bad habits. Just like anything, when you've learned it on your own, you're not going to have the experience and the teaching of people who've done it before and give you some great advice. So let's start with Tyler Henry. He lives in LA, young man, camera friendly, great for television. He has a unique way of doing it. He has to scribble on a sheet of paper to distract his active mind. And he learned that's his technique of doing it. And when he does that, then he's able to pick up on his communication with spirit. He'll be able to use abilities then to gather information. Um, it's an unusual technique. I think he probably learned a lot on his own. I've seen a lot of amateur kind of doesn't have good foundation in certain things. He is getting information. He goes a lot more psychic than mediumship. I saw some of his recent shows. So which means he is gathering information from the living and presenting as evidence from those people rather than really developing the person, the spirit. And that's what we've learned is to get the energy, the personality, the details of what that person did when they were alive, what that person loved to do, what's their personality, what was their relationship. Those are the things I don't see from Tyler Henry at all. He has a different way of doing it. So that's just my 2 cents on Tyler Henry. Great guy. I'd love to chat with him and interview him about his journey. Let's see, the Long Island Medium. Of course, she's bigger than life, perfect for television. Yeah, I'd love to know her development. Unfortunately, she's always open, she says, walking all around, and that is a sense of not really great training because you should be able to turn it off when you are going through life because you do not want to be able to be distracted. So that's something like, oh, she's always open, which means someone didn't teach her. You could close down, live your not life, and when it's time to work, you open up. So it's very distracting for her through her life. The way she does it, unique. She's getting some information, but I'd be very curious how she developed because we all had to go through development. Let me just get some water here. And it's never pretty in development. Just like anything, if you're trying a new sport or a new hobby, and like, oh, I'm not very good at this. I have potential, but I need some help. And if you figure it out yourself, then that's great. But if you have a good tutor, you've gone to some courses, then you have a better way of doing it. So she's great. She's bigger than life. That's why she's great for television. Um, Amy Allan from the Dead Files, she is another, very talented psychic and medium. All of these are. Again, we all have different ways of doing it. Amy Allan was selected for, this show, which is going into spooky houses and making it interesting. So I get a sense of her, it just seems like she's embellished a lot for TV because otherwise it'd be quite boring otherwise. I don't always agree with her analysis of what's happening sometimes, but you know, well, who am I? I'm not there. She's got a great personality. She's no nonsense when she's going through, but you got to realize, she is an actor in the sense that she was selected to play a part of a psychic and medium because she is a psychic and medium and she's picking up and she just is interpreting things differently than I would interpret it. But it's got to be great for television, otherwise we'd all be bored out of our mind. So the aliens, sometimes like, oh, it's interesting. She's picking up on stuff, but she would interpret it different than probably I would. What I'd love to see from all these folks are the outtakes. Because with television, you know, you can only use like 2 or 3, minutes or a minute or 30 seconds, when in fact, Amy has got really interesting things that happen, or Tyler Henry has completely drawn a blank. So has the Long Island medium, Teresa Caputo, like, or completely missed it, wasn't connecting with something and had to start over again. That's what happens. We're not perfect. We're humans. But the outtakes is what I'd love to see because I've been on television. I've seen how things are cut and sliced to make it look interesting and exciting for the viewer. So great people, definitely real psychic and mediums. I'd love to communicate with them and do a quick little hour show on their journey and get them to speak. Real talk, no nonsense. So if anybody knows these people, tell them I want to talk to them. I love them and I want to hear their story. So that's my thoughts on TV mediums. Those three anyway. All right, let's see if we've got some other questions here. Because if you guys are not asking questions, I'm just going to talk. And I've got a lot of other questions I've picked up on here. All righty. Thank you, Ellen. So sweet. All right. Let's go to the next question. I know people probably on Sundays, coming out of church or something by now with their palm branches. Happy Palm Sunday. Again, a ritual with a story. Um, let's see. What is pareidolia? Pareidolia. Pareidolia is what a lot of folks mistake for paranormal. It's like when you look up in the sky and you see these clouds, and all of a sudden you can see a face in the clouds. Oh, it looks like Abraham Lincoln. Oh my God, look, it looks like an elephant. That is pareidolia. We see that when we look at anything. Oh, look at in the forest here. It looks like we see a giraffe. The mind is trying to make sense of weird things, looking for some eyes, and then it creates a little um, image of something that we know. That's just what the brain does, trying to make sense of what is kind of odd looking. So that happens inside the house, outside the house, especially in darkened rooms. The eyes and the brain are trying to make sense of something that you just can't see perfectly. You're not sure what it is. So pareidolia is when the mind is trying to make something that you recognize out of something that you just can't. I mean, if you take a picture and you say, "See, can you see the Can you see that crazy person in the background? No, I don't see that. Because it's your experience, your mind, your eyes that saw that thing when you look into that space. No, I don't see that. So that is very typical. That happens all the time, especially in photographs. Oh, look at that. I'm like, no, that's not it. It's pareidolia. I don't know how to spell it off the top of my head, but pareidolia. Look at it, learn it, especially if you're a paranormal investigator. Know that the mind and the eyes will play tricks. Well, no, you think there's it's something, but it's trying to make sense of something that's kind of weird and not real clear, especially with all those photos that you see online. Oh, look, it looks like, why is it when it's time to take a photo of something paranoia, of a paranormal, you know, event? It's the blurriest photo you've ever seen. Like, come on, folks, we've got great cameras. There should be no reason why we can't have clear photographs, even if it's at night. Clear photographs, especially with these night-seeking cameras, um, the ones that can see at night. It's just like, come on. So when things are blurry, then yeah, oh, kind of looks like a, space alien, whatever space alien may be. So I always say, come on, folks. We cannot make a decision on blurry pictures. You may have had an experience. Oh, well, we didn't. You didn't capture it. So I'd say, let's try again. See if you can replicate it. Get somebody else to see it with you. Take a moment. But yeah, the photographs with the blurry stuff, I'm not really impressed with that. Okay. Let's see. We have any questions? How does this work here? I skipped church for you, my friend. Hi, Lonnie. You have any paranormal questions for me? Lonnie is someone I've studied with in London in the field of mediumship, which is communication with past loved ones. And people, what's the difference between a psychic and a medium? A psychic is someone who's able to communicate or gather energy from the living. So I'm able to pick up on your past, your present, and where you're headed. The future is up to you, but this is where we see you heading. If you don't like that, you can always pivot and move on. You're not predestined to go there. Mediumship or a medium is able to connect with those spirits who've passed on, your loved ones, because we're hooking into that that energetic, emotional connection between you and your loved ones. That's how we do it. They're not like here sitting beside me, speaking into my ear. I'm actually, it's like fishing. You hook in, and then I'm able to get an evidential download from them because I've got to establish credibility that I've got your grandmother, friend, husband, whatever, before I'm able to provide a message. So it's really cool experience, and it's important to know the difference. Someone says, "How often should you see a psychic?" Well, when whenever you need some inspiration and you kind of want to get a sense of where am I heading in my crazy life, that would be the best thing to do because they're going to connect with your energy. And they need to establish credibility. They need to be able to tell you where you've been, what's been going on with your life, what's going on now, get questions from you, and then be able to get a sense of where you're going in the future. Now, psychics, we're taught as professional psychics, not we don't have to use anything. No cards, no crystal ball, no runes, no tea leaves, no coffee grounds. Um, those are just tools. You can use them. They're very entertaining for the client to look at, but we don't need it. In class, we've put on blindfolds and had people sit in front of us that we didn't even know they can't speak, and we have to give them a psychic reading. So we have to learn how to connect with that energy. Um, and but the other tools are kind of full. When they're looking, cool, they're looking to the crystal ball. They're seeing images in their own mind. They're not typically seeing images in there like a television. And they're interpreting the cards. They're interpreting the coffee grounds, and they're using that to distract their active mind so they can get their psychic abilities to work. It's a kind of a distraction tool, a tool to help with that active mind, getting it out of the way so they can actually do a good reading on you. And I always say when you go to a psychic or a medium, don't give them, your background or anything. Say, hi, my name is Mary, and I'm here for a psychic reading. Mm. That's all you need to say. They should be able to give you all the information. And then you can ask questions, but don't give them any information at all about you, where you're from, whatever. Just make them do all the work. Let's see. Lana, you had a dream about a colorful house. My mom was upstairs in bed and she put her blanket over her face. Do you have an explanation for this? It felt very real. Dreams, that's a whole field is dream interpretation. There are people who specialize in that, especially if it's a real, a very realistic dream. Those are always, I always say, pay attention to those. See if you can interpret them. This is your dream, Lonnie. So the question is, your mother has recently passed. She's upstairs and she puts the blanket over her face. What it means to me would probably mean something different to you. So I would say, what would somebody who would put a blanket over their face mean? Yes, I'm gone, but guess what? I'm still in bed. So yes, I'm gone, but I'm still here with you because I have this emotional, energetic connection with you. So that's what I get the interpretation of it. Over your face, over her face, meaning I am not physically here, but they're still in bed. They're still here with you. That's the way, it would be just a nice way of saying, I am still with you. That's my 2 cents there. I know I've got so many interesting little questions here. I can't keep up with secrets. She's a really fast typer. Let's see. How often should you see a psychic? We already said, we already got that one. Can you do an on-demand request for mediumship? Like you go in and you sit with a medium, someone who's connecting with a past loved one, and you really want to speak with certain people. Okay, that's your intention. The best way to do it is just go in and know that you say to yourself, I want to speak with these people. And typically they will come through. But if you can you go in some mediums and say, I want to speak to my mother? Okay, that's an on-demand request. We're not taught this in school. They always say, whoever comes through, comes through. Um, so some of us have learned to do that. We practice, in groups. It's possible to do, but I always say, always come with the desire to speak with certain people, as everyone does. And then if that person doesn't come through, then I would say, see if the person can do it an on-demand request. Can you connect with my mom? And that's all you need to say. And if they say, what's her name? Okay, give the name, give a birth date. It takes us a moment to kind of basically do, like a connection with a specific energy. And it may not always happen. We're supposed to let the spirit that wants to speak, or the message that you need to hear first would come from someone that you would not expect. That your aunt, for example, has a message for you that, oh, that kind of answers what you kind of wanted mom to say. So don't be surprised if when other folks come through and not the person you want. But you can ask the medium if they do it. But it's not always, most mediums do not do that, have been trained, don't feel comfortable. But I can do it. I like doing it. It's fun. Let's see. Can you ask questions during a mediumship reading? Before it, during, or after? Well, I would say when you're going to a mediumship reading, just say nothing. Except, hi, how are you? Don't give them a life story. Don't tell them anything. Their job is to create credibility with you by gathering that information. Um, you can ask after a spirit has come through, and when they're giving you evidence, you can say yes, no, or I don't know. Don't say, oh, yes, and she used that spoon to do this. No, no, no. That's giving too much information. Just say, answer yes, no, or I don't know when they're providing evidence of who this person was. And then afterwards, and they've got the person that you definitely understand that they have. They've given you a message, and then you can ask a question if they can connect with that or ask that question to the spirit. But don't talk too much prior to or during, especially when they're working. But just yes, no, or I don't know. All right, let's see what I've got here. Let's see here. I hope I don't cuss during this Q&A. Oh, like many of us, we get a little, excited sometimes. Um, let's see. Anything else here? Lonnie. All right. I have a orange salt lamp in my bedroom, which is always on when I'm home. Even when I'm sleeping, I felt that it gives me calm vibes. Do crystals and salt lamps change the energy, or is it in my head? Yes. If you believe it, then if you really believe it, then it is helping you. If you don't believe it and you're putting it out, it's not going to help you. So the key is, does it resonate with you? Do you believe in it? Do you believe in crystals? Then it will work for you. If you have doubts, then it won't work for you. So I'm not so much a crystals person. Um, I don't need these external objects to help me, but some people do. That will make people feel comfortable. So it's neither good nor bad. But if you believe and you're comfortable with them, use it because that's going to give you the confidence and the comfort level, with their powers. Like, oh, it's going to help cleanse me. Okay, your intention is to be cleansed or to be protected or to be healed. And you really believe in this, use it. If you kind of like, I'm not sure, well, probably not going to work for you. And if you don't believe it, someone says this crystal is going to help. It's not because you have to have the belief in it. You have to have a real good belief that it's going to happen and it's going to be helpful. And if you do, then absolutely, absolutely, it'd be helpful. Let's see. Ooh, how do you assess the quality of a psychic or mediumship reading? Let's talk about psychic. The question is, are they able to pick up on you? That's where you've been in life, where you currently are. If they are, then they've tapped into your energy. So when they're going to talk about where you headed in the future, then boom, I would feel comfortable with their credibility on that for sure. Again, they have to kind of connect with your energy from the past, the present, to establish credibility. So when they talk about where you're headed in the future, they're tapped into your energy. As for mediumship, evidential mediumship is the key. They need to be able to provide evidence of who that spirit was when they were alive, so that you and the medium know that it's certainly so and so, because he's giving them personality, what they used to do in life, what was their favorite hobby, what did they do with you that's really special. Those kind of bits of evidence. Again, establishing credibility with evidence. And then when it's time for the message, then you'll feel comfortable that, in fact, that message is really from that loved one that you all have identified. The key is we have to do our work to establish credibility. I just can't say I've got your grandmother and she says blah, blah, blah. No. I want her personality. I want some of her quirks. I want something that is really her, because personality doesn't change. I don't want, oh, I have a tall man with a hat and a mustache. He's very skinny. Well, guess what? We all change in life. So you may not have known that tall, skinny man who wore that hat as your grandfather. That's what he used to look like when he was 20. But you didn't know that. It's like, no, I don't know this person. I knew him as this way. So I teach my students, stay away from the description unless it's a really distinctive thing. Like this person's, hands are really large. A very unique characteristic, not just, you know, Oh, this woman is short, has short hair. She has brown hair. Okay, well, people change color. It goes gray, or they put color in it or whatever. So stay away from those kind of details. Look for things that will paint them back to life, and that's going to be the personality, your experiences that you've had together. Let's see here. Let's see what other questions we have. Let's see, let's see, let's see. All right. Let me check something else. We've got some more time here. But while you all are thinking about a question to stump me, let me introduce you, because as you will hopefully know, I like to demystify the mystical, which means I'm going to go to topics, investigate them, study them, and then present them in a YouTube show, usually 5, 10 minutes, because I know everyone, you know, attention span these days is a TikTok, a few seconds of TikTok. So a live show takes time and energy for people to listen to. So I go with my YouTube shows at Kevin Paul, Psychic Medium on YouTube. And here is, I'm going to share my screen with a video of an upcoming show that I'm going to do. Let's see here. And I'll tell you what it is in just a minute. But listen to this.
Deep in the mind where power resides lies energy strange that bends and guides. Let's take a trip together. Come on, let's see what all these spooky terms might be. Psychokinesis just means mind over matter, the ability to make things move and watch them scatter. A spoon may bend, a light may blink, all controlled by how you think. PK manifestation is an observation game. A candle flickers, but who's to blame? A bottle flies and lights will blow. From stress or fear, it starts to show. Telekinesis, quite the same. It's the sci-fi term for the moving game. No hands needed, just pure will to shift or lift. It's quite the thrill. Poltergeists, oh, what a fright. They knock, they scratch, they scream all night. They move your chairs, they slam your doors, and send your dishes to the floors. But who are they? Whether it's a ghost or thought so grand, energy bends at your command. And keep your focus, stay aware. You might have abilities beyond compare. So believe, focus, and feel the spark. And who knows, you might just leave your mark. If you're fascinated by psychokinesis, poltergeist activity, don't miss my upcoming YouTube show called Uncovering the Mystery of Poltergeists. Join me as we explore moving objects, eerie disturbances, and unexplained phenomena. Let's uncover the mystery together.
Yes, I am going to talk about poltergeist and the different theories behind the understanding of poltergeist and give you my understanding of it. Talk about case studies that have been very, very popular and famous throughout the ages, and then communicate with some of my clients who've had these kind of experiences and talk about what we've discovered, how we resolved it, and so on and so forth. So that's what I'm working on now. You know, it's a labor of love. Also, it's something I wanted to know more about too. So I've been doing the research and it's fascinating. It really is fascinating. And I've got to put the event together or the video together, and I'll post it on Facebook, of course, and then on my YouTube channel, which has all these other things on it, from demonic possessions, the Ouija board, kind of taking these scary topics and making sense about them and learning about them, the history and so on and so forth. That's what I'd like to do. I love to understand and demystify the mystical because we're really good at television shows making us all scared about things. And I want everyone to realize there's more to it than what's on television or movies. So Poltergeist is a perfect example of my next project that I'm putting together. Making video, it's it's a lot of work. Editing video is a lot of work, and presentation, making it interesting, is a skill that you have to like learn on the job because I did not go to school for that. Let's see, any other questions here? Ooh, what do you think about aura photography? That's where they take a photograph and say, these are the colors surrounding you. Hmm. Would I do it? No, I would not do it. Um, I don't, I don't think, whatever, I'm not sure what kind of camera they use, but it is interesting. It's fun. It's entertainment. I would just say consider it entertainment. And, does it characterize you? Great. It's just saying, okay, this is who you are. So that's kind of nice. I just say consider it an entertainment thing rather than, a true thing. So aura and people interpret colors different. So I would say use it as an entertainment thing. Don't put too much stock into it. As long as it's nothing, mean and nasty, and it's just fun and confirms who you are. That's great. That's great. But the camera and the photography of it, I'm suspect about it. So yeah, it's like use it as entertainment value only. That's my 2 cents about that one. Let's see. Anything else here before I Okay, let me then check my questions I got prior to. We talked about all of that. We talked about that. Oh, let me talk about my new venture that's that I'm working on. It's called Sanctuary. It's my new online home, which I'm put together with my partner, who is a psychic and medium, Jay Allan. It's a sacred place for learning, healing, and spiritual connection. Whether you're exploring your intuition, looking for a reading, or diving deep into the metaphysical studies, you'll find resources and guidance and inspiration to support your journey. So come visit us at sanctuaryspiritual.com, which is on, oh, no, this side, this side of the screen, everything's opposite. Check out our website. It's in development, but the main page is there. All the classes that we will teach online as well as in person in different locations across the country. So we want you to step into our sanctuary where you can safely and properly develop your abilities, your your whichever area you're going into, because it doesn't you don't have to be a psychic and medium to go on your spiritual journey. There are lots of other topics that we're going to be doing. Um, but we need to get some emails in there. So go to sanctuaryspiritual.com, put your email in so then we can send out updates as to what our next class is, where we're going to be. And we just want to make it reasonable pricing just to cover the cost of all the crazy, like if we're renting a space or we're having to pay for the website and all that good stuff. We're just looking um, to do that rather than to make a living because we're both getting into retirement. So we're doing this for fun, enjoyment, growth, satisfaction. And we have a lot of really cool courses and a lot of cool reading opportunities if you're looking for people to come to your house to do a mediumship reading or psychic and mediumship reading, or we call it soul healing readings that we do. It's all, that's our resource for it. And that's where we're going to go. And I want to just do a quick, I created a video for that so it makes it interesting.
Question: how can we
Go.
support you on your unique spiritual journey? We envisioned a spiritual learning and healing pop-up space that meets you wherever you are, whether through in-person seminars across the country or online from the comfort of your home. A true sanctuary where you can feel safe to be yourself and grow. Connecting with us is easy. Our user-friendly website helps you explore classes, seminars, and healing message services using our psychic and mediumship abilities, all crafted to uplift and empower your spiritual path. As the sun rises on your journey, take each step at your own pace. Let your spirit and soul rise, just like the sun, to find yourself basking in the warmth and joy of your transformation. Welcome to Sanctuary, a safe space to begin or deepen your spiritual growth through learning and healing. We can't wait to see you grow, transform, and thrive.
Sanctuaryspiritual.com. Check it out. Get on our emailing list so we can send you some goodies like what's happening. We're not going to inundate you with crazy, topics all the time. Just going to give you the heads up on what we're doing, where you can go to learn something new and exciting. So I don't see any more questions right now, and it's an hour. It's more than most people can even listen to. So I'll be happy if people get to this point. Thank you so much for joining us, you, me, and all of us, as we ask questions, answer questions, and kind of have some fun on a Sunday, Palm Sunday afternoon. So take care of yourselves in mind, body, and spirit. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye.